morning, healthy people. Happy Friday, December 21st, 2018. Today's journal prompt question is write the story of your family. This month we're focusing on faith, and I hope you guys are doing things to help increase your faith in yourself, your faith in a higher being. For me, that's God. Your faith in your circumstances, your faith in your future, your faith in your surroundings, the people around you, all these different things. And so it's been kind of a journey this month for me because we've been focusing on faith. We have been focusing on faith, and I know at this moment that I'm going through a growth period. I remember when I first started my adult faith walk, right? Because I've always loved God as a kid and was fascinated by Him and the Bible. For me, the Bible, if you guys know, I don't push the Bible on anyone, but for me, the stories were always amazing. And I had my little kid's Bible. I still have it. Anyways, and in 2008, I think, is when I joined a church. I got baptized, got my kids baptized. We went to church every Sunday, every Tuesday, all the time. We visited. I taught Sunday school, and my kids were in the choir, and they did performances, and we did Christmas plays. And that was like the first thing that I put on with kids was this Christmas program. And it was crazy because I had just joined, and they're like, you know. So anyways, I say all that to say this, but there's been so much, and it's funny. I always find it funny because I really let people be themselves, and if you like it, I love it, as long as it's not affecting me and my family directly. And so it's funny how people question, like, why do you believe? Da 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 da, God this, God that. And I don't look at God like a magic person. I don't look at God like a person who makes my life perfect or answers everything that I pray for. There's more to it than that. Do I think He answers everything I pray for? Absolutely. But in a different way. It just may not show up the way that I want it to. But it took me years to get here. Years of being like, if you were real, God, or I don't like you, God. Like, I did all that for so long, and I'm beyond that. So a lot of times now, I'm just trying to be living my purpose. That's it. And if I'm not, I get frustrated because it's a waste of my time. It's a waste of everybody's time. That's where I'm at in my life. And being obedient. Being obedient has nothing to do with the outcome being the way that I think it's going to be. It's basically being obedient because that's what I'm supposed to do. And I got to that point by listening and spending, as much as I joke, as much as I cuss, all this other stuff, I spend a lot of time with God. And that's one thing people probably don't know about me. I read the Bible more now, but at one point I read constantly. You know what I mean? So, but I just picked it back up, and I realized I was missing that piece. So I like this Write Your Family story because some of you may know generational curses biblically is what they're called, right? And in society, it's called generational poverty. And then when you think of poverty, you think of money, but it's so much more than that. When I go back to get my PhD, generational poverty is a lot of things. It's your belief system. So it is, what kind of church do you go to? What is that church pouring into you? It's the way that you manage money. It's the way that you eat. It's the way that you deal with relationships, right? It's your belief systems and education. Is it important? Is it not? Is formal education important? Is being on time important? All these different things are generational poverty. Now, some of it is cultural, right? Some things we do is cultural, and then some things you have to do because it's a cultural norm in America in order to progress to a certain extent. It's so deep, but all those things align. And so one of the things I've been focusing on is generational curses for myself and my children. I know what I brought to the table. I know some of the stuff they dad brought to the table because I know him. And so I can pray for them over those things, and I can work with them over those things and my things. But there's also things that my kids are, everybody is 13 and older now. My middle son will be 15 tomorrow. There's some things that they have to do on their own and work through on their own and do better at on their own because they're not babies anymore. I gave them a foundation as best as I could, not perfect. And that's why we have these conversations about, you know, you're in charge of you. If I did something that scarred you or hurt you, let's talk about it. My kids know we will be at a counselor ASAP. We've done that already. Whatever it is we need to do to heal ourselves and move forward and stop repeating cycles. Anyway, so I say all that to say this on Write Your Family Story. It's very important. I hope you're practicing faith. Again, whatever that may mean for you, meditating, if something bad has happened, counteracting that with a positive thought and action, right? It goes beyond just thinking about it. You have to have that action there in order for something to change. What else could you be doing? Journaling, listening to something, listening to positive TED Talks or YouTube videos, attending church. I mean, that is a form of faith for some people. Whatever it is, I hope you're practicing that, because it's the only thing that's going to get you from point A to point B. And yesterday I've had a hard week, really, but people showed up in my life. My friends showed up in my life, and I'm usually the one that's there for a lot of people, but people showed up for me, and that spoke volumes to me, because I don't know, it was just right on time. And it was partially because I had to be vulnerable with them and tell them what I was going through. And then the other part of that was my faith. I'm never alone, even when I think I am, or when I feel like my back is up against the wall. And that whole entire day, everyone's life was just circling together. Like, it was crazy. Every last girlfriend that I talked to, all of our lives was just merging together, all the way down to the coffee shop. When I'm in there working, I had a meeting, and these two little girls, they were probably 20, 21, maybe, if that they were cute, had little baby faces, and they're just in there talking about their faith, and randomly, like, it was a really good, it ended up being an amazing day. Everything that I'm experiencing currently, I think it's all part of the things that I'm praying for. I think it's all part of the process and the journey for me. And so that's why I'm able to accept it, even though it's very uncomfortable. This is not what I was about to talk to you about, my personal life, but it is what it is, and I try to be as transparent as possible. So, yeah, that's why faith is part of habits and lifestyles, because it's important. So write your family story, because you have the power to do that. You really do. All right, wishing you guys healthier, happier habits. I will talk to you guys soon. Oh, I'm not working out today, but I am going to pray after this. And that's it. I got work to do. Yeah. All right.